At no point during Metal Wolf Chaos XD is it easy to forget this is a re-release of a 15-year-old game. From the bulky menus, cumbersome controls, and over-the-top action, to the hilariously tongue-in-cheek voice acting, heavy focus on high scores, and complete lack of seriousness throughout, this is very much a video game from a different era, for better and for worse. Metal Wolf Chaos XD clocks in at a breezy 7 hours to complete all of its missions, which feels like the perfect length for a game like this. You control Michael Wilson, the 47th President of the United States of America, as the Vice President has staged a coup and usurps control of the country through force. So now it's up to you as a lone mech pilot to single-handedly wage war against the dirty rebels and take back control of the country in the name of freedom, justice, and the American way. The plot is absolutely ludicrous, but it embraces the tone wholeheartedly. The superbly campy voice acting and borderline cringe-inducing writing help sell what is intentionally designed to be a full-on parody.
And Jody, I'm taking back our country, going from west to east.
Go west. I mean east, young man.
You have to approach Metal Wolf Chaos XD with some understanding of just how tongue-in-cheek it all is, or it's close to impossible to enjoy yourself. Basically, Metal Wolf Chaos XD is like if you took From Software's classic Armored Core series, ripped out most of the complexities and customization, and then replaced the premise with something that feels like a Team America spin-off. All this re-release does is upgrade the visuals to HD resolutions for modern platforms. And that's about it. If you're into a bit of mindless action, Metal Wolf Chaos XD definitely delivers on that front, even if actually controlling the mech never feels quite right. Turning to line up your shots is sluggish, and using the boost to evade is extremely inaccurate. Hovering in the air isn't anywhere near as useful as it should be, and you'll often be fighting the camera in addition to your enemies. Luckily, the aiming system adds a bit of nuance to keep things more interesting. Each gun has an aiming radius displayed as a box on screen. As long as an enemy is within that box when you shoot your weapon, you should hit them. But that box is shaped differently for each weapon, which adds a lot of interesting strategy in how you approach combat encounters. For example, missiles and bazookas have a very small aiming reticle, typically move slowly, and don't lock onto enemies, but a machine gun has a widespread area that it could hit. It's a strange way to aim and fire weapons that takes some getting used to, but picking the right weapon for the right enemy and situation is extremely important. For example, slow-moving tanks and hovering helicopters are susceptible to bazookas if you can aim them well, whereas ground forces are best handled with machine guns. Big, powerful weapons like railguns and multi-missile launchers don't have a lot of ammo capacity but are extremely powerful when used against heavily armored boss enemies. Sadly, most enemies are uninspired bullet sponges that are far from a challenge when not collected in massive swarms, with bosses acting more as a test of your patience than your skill. In between missions, you can spend money and materials on investments and manufacturing in the garage. Each type of weapon has multiple tiers to unlock that let you manufacture new, better guns. It's a decent customization system that adds just enough complexity to make progression feel constant and rewarding, but eventually you hit a point where it doesn't matter anymore because of how powerful you become. Mission structure is pretty problematic overall. For starters, there are 0 checkpoints. If you die at the boss after a half hour of monotonous gameplay clearing out spongy grunts, being forced to replay the entire mission over again feels like a massive chore. Most of the missions are completely linear without any variation, making it get real old real fast. Even the extra difficulty modes just make enemies soak up even more bullets, so there's little replayability unless you want to play the exact same content over and over to upgrade weapons and unlock mech skins. Metal Wolf Chaos XD is a bare-bones HD upgrade that brings the bonkers cult classic West for modern consoles. Unfortunately, that includes all of its cumbersome gameplay and outdated designs. This re-release is very clearly a 15-year-old game that's really only good for some simple, mindless shooting without much else to offer beyond cheap gags. For more giant robot action, check out this MechWarrior 5 gameplay or this breakdown of Neon Genesis Evangelion's Netflix release. And for everything else, stay tuned to IGN.
I'm not the hero type. I'm just doing my job as president.